Hi, Sarah. Run Rack Recovery, A line or two, JDC writes. Thank you guys for joining me on my poetry reading. So I went through and selected a handful of poems on, well, actually they weren't on my account, they were on the members' accounts that used either the hashtag Eve Poetry Group and or Eve Poetry or Eve Read My Poem. So first I went through Eve Read My Poem, and then I went ahead and selected a couple of the members from Writers and Poets Cafe, which is my Facebook group. I kind of share, collaborate, come up with fun new ideas, share work between each other, help each other grow as writers and poets, and help each other with engagement on Instagram. So we do a lot of our planning and plotting on Facebook, but then we use that to help us do better here on Instagram. So if you would like to join Writers and Poets Cafe, the link is in the bio of Eve Poetry Group. So go ahead and join that, and you don't have to worry about having a public account. You don't have to have a Facebook page for your poetry, none of that. Just a standard Facebook profile, and as long as you are respectful and kind and like to write at any capacity, you will be accepted into the group. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and jump into the live poetry reading now. The first piece that I'm going to read for you is by Cluster of Words, Escape Artist. I remember that street light in front of that building on that one road that was more of a parking lot where your lips first claimed mine. And it was like I'd never been kissed before, even though I had. For a while, I think we were both in various states of euphoria. And it wasn't until you had gone that I noticed the shackles you'd placed me in. No wonder. You were as pleased as I was. Escape is an art I've mastered. I'm already married, but thank you. That is a really kind offer. Hi, Poet Mama. Hi, Flash. Is by Jeffrey More Poetry. Hi, Brandon. And this is called Splinter. Splinter. The memory of you is lodged inside me like a splinter. I sometimes forget you're there, but when I feel you, the pain is unbearable. Do I pull you out, risk the bleeding, or let you reside until time gives you a permanent home beneath my skin? And that was by Jeffrey More Poetry. The next one is by Luna Poetry. And the caption says, my words vaporize as soon as they are cleansed. Every night I dream of words, beautiful and lyrical, scream them into the infinite cosmos above. My words pierce the heavens and see the angels at play. They shimmer their beauty. My words cleanse them of their deep and dark shadows. Yet my words travel back into the dark and murky planets and explore them till the planets go into dwarfness and vaporizes into the infinity. My words form poetry and soon vanish into the oblivion. I love that line. My words form poetry and soon vanish into the oblivion. Beautiful. All right, the next one is by Noir Poetry. I inhale the whole sky, drink the oceans, soak my skin in sunlight, engulf myself with the nurtured soil. I hunt down the stars and lock them up in my orbs, and yet I'm not enough. So I curl up and wait for your appreciation. And when you still don't see me, I burst, coloring your world, giving you a world full of memories. Now you finally see me, and you see me in everything. And that was by Noir_poetry. The next one I'm going to read for you is by Armor Word. And it is called Because I Promised You a Happy Home. And her caption, the Armor Word's caption is, regardless of how incapable one is of being held by love, give them love when their word is about to crumble. It is a kind approach to a hurtful rejection, and thus begins your healing. Because I promised you a happy home. Whenever everything looks dark and you cannot navigate through life, come back to me. No matter how cracked my ceiling is or trembling walls I possess, I assure I'll open my door for you, and layer by layer, we'll mend each other. So here is the piece for a line or two, and it's called Try New Things. New and old met face to face, to see who stood the test of time. Time presented each with challenges, to prove which of them would be sublime. Old tackled the challenge in the same way that he had always done it before. Old took his time with his every step, and at last had finally finished the chore. New took the challenge with vigor, as excited as he could ever be. Though his idea seemed outrageous, he would figure it out, you'll see. Old began to snicker and laugh at New's plan that he had dreamed. Time was quickly running out on New to complete the task, or so it seemed. Time and Old sat together whispering, as lifelong friends tend to do. And just when they had counted him out, New discovered something new. Try New Things. That was Try New Things by A Line or Two. This one is by Becky Who Poetry, who's also a member of the Facebook group. You know, I love all the comments in the chat. I appreciate those, and I know that everybody gets to see them. I always share the live session 24 hours following. They always give you an option when the live session ends to do that. That's the only way I'm able to capture the comments, and I love to, even when I have a terrible live session, which my last one, I think I counted, well, I didn't count, but if I counted, I'm sure I would have said the tick like 300 times. That's my new goal as a person that's reading in front of you guys and speaking in front of you guys. My new goal is to use less. So hopefully you guys can kind of keep me in check. I'm going to be working on that moving forward. The other thing I do is sort of too many long breaks. So I'm trying to give you guys a chance to have the chats and give some feedback, but not wait too long in between, because it makes it very difficult to watch later on, and I want everybody to have a chance to see everything and not tune out and not hear everything that they want to hear and see. There was see or ah. Oh, well, thank you. No, and I understand that, like, I'm not a professional public speaker, and I'm not used to talking in front of people, and it's a little bit of an odd thing when I'm talking really just to my phone. I know that people are going to be able to watch it and rewatch it later on. That's what I think kind of messes with me a little bit, because I know I'm not going to edit it or do anything to change it because I want the comment. So for the live session, when I do the 24 hours following, that's what you get to see. That's the only time you get to see the comments. I need to figure out a way to see how I can record it and keep those comments. I think iPhone lets you screen video, but I haven't figured that quite out yet. Thank you. I really appreciate thank you so much, Flash. That is really encouraging, believe me. I was actually really beating myself up after the last live session that I had. I had to cut out, when I when I do these live sessions, on top of letting it replay for the next 24 hours, I also do go back and put it on IGTV as much as I can. It only allows for 10 minutes, so I was able to cut out quite a bit and include quite a lot of my video in that 10 minutes just by getting rid of all the big spaces of time in between, and also my ums. That was a lot of ums, guys. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Thank you, PZ Poetry. I want to get better for you guys, and also better so one day I still have to. This year is my big New Year's resolution. One of those big resolutions is to go into an actual live audience and read my own poetry. Aw. And you guys are really, these live readings are really helping prepare me for that. The next poem I'm going to read is from Becky Who Poetry, and it is called Leaving Home. When I go back and stay at my dad's place, it's great, but it's no longer home. I struggle to get my own kids off to sleep in the room that I once called my own. They watch cartoons just as I did, 2 sofas, 3 tellies ago. So much is the same, yet so much has changed, though I try hard to not let it show. Granddad plays Lego and trains with the kids. I love it that they have such fun. And after their bedtime, we sit and drink wine, and sometimes we talk about Mom. And that was Becky Who Poetry. One is by Poet Mama. And this is called Depression. I've convinced myself I'm addicted to sadness. These days inside my head is madness. Wondering if there will be tomorrows. My days are filled with darkened sorrows. It's been days, weeks, months, and my bed has been my only friend. Contemplating if this would be the end. There is no room for happiness when inside my head is such a mess. Friends and family can't understand. Depression's got me by the hands. Gripping tightly, won't let go. So the darkness is all that I know. I probably won't need happiness at all if my soul would leave and my body would fall. The next one is by Godzillion 100. True Warrior's Passion. In the stillness of darkness are dormant creatures stirring to awaken. Eyes open, scanning their surroundings with a thirst for whom they can devour. Like waiting for a pot of clam chowder, they are dormant warriors awakening to the barriers of a warrior's passion, ready for action. They do not wrestle against principalities, for they are not flesh and bone. They are principality, sonic thunderbooms in this vast of gloom, archangels of cherubim alongside seraphim appear in the midst to bless the mess of terrorism, bringing calmness to chaos of sin, helping them to remember the love and light within. And so this is the true warrior's passion, never to be abandoned. Next one is Serenity by Renrack Recovery. Broken bones pop like timber in the fire. A weakened core contributes to the breaking down into embers of hope, the light slowly fading into the night. Suddenly, a spark ignites a dry bush, causing a wildfire. Acres of destruction erupt. Brave souls are called to extinguish the flame. One is fatefully surrounded, with nothing left to do but surrender. That is so sad. Yeah, and it's also so relatable. And I think a lot of people, when we write sadness and we write about depression or just anything that is tragic, a lot of it a lot of people can relate to that, and it's so important that we do share those thoughts and feelings as writers, that we are authentic to ourselves with all of the different things that we're feeling, including the things that most people find are taboo, like depression or mental illness or anything. I mean, we really need to just be 100% authentic to ourselves and write what we feel, because you are reaching people that do feel those things and don't have the words to articulate it, and you are doing that for them, and that's such a gift. I wrote something about anxiety recently and shared that on my Instagram, and the reactions and the messages and the things that I got from that were incredibly rewarding, and that's the first time I really wrote about my own personal journey with anxiety on a poem. So kind of encourages me to continue to be true to myself and write about everything, the whole mine on anxiety, since I just spoke about it, and I called it Anxious Mind. Anxiety often consumes, leaves me driving on vapor fumes, makes me restless with worry, distracted and in a hurry, late or misplaced, shamed and defaced, exhausting, it's endless, surviving and senseless. All the judgment in your eyes and heard in each of your lies, you can't relate to my disease. You feel discomfort in my lack of peace. I apologize and carry my own load, but I'm sorry for me was never owed. If you love me, please understand. My anxious mind makes no demand. Just walk beside me and I'll extend my hand. One of Sarah's pieces. Just because I've been knocked down doesn't mean I won't build it back up. Piece by piece I will. Each time stronger than the fall before that, until one day I don't collapse. Instead, I find the pieces I don't need or shouldn't have in my life and let them go. And that was by The Shades, Sarah writes. And there was, let's see. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. So I'm actually, thank you, Anna. So I'm from originally a town just north of Boston called Somerville, Massachusetts and I was born in Cambridge, but I am currently in the Pacific Northwest in the Portland, Oregon area. I've lived all over the world though. Or actually, I've been all over the world. I wouldn't say I've lived all over the world. I don't think you can technically call it that. But I've lived all over the United States. Okay, well, I do not know. I was trying to find a specific one, and it just doesn't work well on live readings, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, you guys. I will be doing more. I will prepare extra this Sunday. I will prepare extra to read this Sunday so that if it somehow finishes quickly, I will have them ready to go. I usually don't try to like to try rather to find things on the fly, as it can become kind of cumbersome and a little bit hard to pick them and look while you have a bunch of people just kind of waiting on you. I don't like that. So you are so welcome, a line or two. You're incredibly welcome. Thank you for sharing your work with us, everybody. Thank everybody who I read tonight. I really appreciate your work, and it's an honor always to read your work. Have a great night, Quiet Riot. Thank you, Flash. tag some of your stuff and I will read yours on Sunday, okay? All right, so if you do want me to read one of your poems, again, remember to hashtag it for me. And thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. It did not feel lonely. It didn't really feel like I was talking to my phone. It actually felt like I had like a little group of people I was hanging out with. So I appreciate it. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.